Well, class, thank goodness it's Friday. This is going to wrap up all of our Chapter 2 discussions, and this will not be long, I promise. You should be in the computer lab, and hopefully you're sitting at your seat with your Google Doc up, and this is going to be a good time maybe to take some notes there, but we're going to talk about the marketing plan and writing objectives, and it's not going to be too long. So the marketing plan is a formal written document that directs what a company is doing for a specific period of time and how it relates to marketing. In that marketing plan, we're discussing what we're trying to accomplish and how we are going to accomplish it. So as I was talking to you, a lot of you about your proposals, before you even told me what you were trying to accomplish, you would a lot of times tell me what you had in mind to get there. So 3 vocab words for this chapter in the marketing plan are an executive summary, which is an overview of your whole paper, and it's usually in 1 to 3 pages depending on the paper you're doing. In our case, it's 1 page long. It can be colorful and enjoyable and not too overwhelming. From a writing standpoint, should not be a wall of text. It should have pictures and images, so on and so forth. From there, we're talking about the situation analysis, and that is the internal and external factors that will impact your marketing strategies. And the way we do this is usually with 2 types of analysis that I believe we discussed on Monday. Your objectives, which is what we're trying to accomplish, and marketing strategies, your next vocab word is going to be the strategy that identifies the target market, and then your marketing mix choices. And your marketing mix choices are your 4 Ps. So if I was to ask a question about market strategies and how we get there, what are your first 2 steps? Something along those lines. Your quick answer would be we identify a target market and we set our 4 Ps in order to have our marketing mix. So from there, now we've told about what we're intending to do, and the last part is implementation, and then how we evaluate what we did and that control. And I guess control being what you see in a science test, what would have happened or what naturally happens if we didn't make those variable changes. So performance standard is an expectation for performance that reflects the plan's objectives. And that's really what we're going to work on today, is writing our objective for your market or your company that you're marketing or product or event. But a performance standard is an expectation for performance that reflects the plan's objectives. And a lot of times they are marketing, financial, and they can often be marketing mix strategies. So here's another look at what a marketing plan looks like. You don't have to write all of this down, but essentially it is a definition for each one of the sections. Okay. So implementation, and we'll get into implementation, actually implementing a plan later on in the class, but that is the projection of probable future sales in units or dollars, or how we are expecting our changes to impact what's going on from a sales standpoint. And that'll include a budget. So how much money are we going to spend? Are we going to spend $1 million to only increase sales by 500,000? That seems like a bad thing to do, but if we spend $1 million to get 10 million in sales, now we're headed in the right direction. So I like this group of sentences, but this is an effective marketing strategy identifies the target market and sets our marketing mix choices. So what are our 4 Ps? How are we using them to take into account what the customer needs and what they want? And then are we using that and aligning with what our objectives from the marketing plan are? And then the last little bit of that is, are we focusing on the key points of difference? What is our unique aspect and how can we leverage it? That's our advantage, our competitive advantage. So I'll leave this up for a little bit longer. So this is how the book wants us to write an objective, and that is for it to be single-minded, specific, measurable, time-framed. There is a better acronym for this in my eyes. There's a better way of thinking about that, and that's this. And you've probably heard this before, but SMART objectives. And I know Miss Reddig actually has this on her board, but I really believe that this is the way when you write an objective or a goal, this is what you need to think about, and that's SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. So if you've never heard this before, this is really common, especially in business, and it gets to the point where your objectives for performance are in this format. So when you're working for a company and you're at a decent level, your objectives for the year are going to be driven in this format, and if you make them and achieve them, the more that you achieve, the higher your raise will be. At least that was my experience at Frito-Lay and at the bank, and most of my friends' experiences to this day. So, and they put it in this format here, but the example they use, your objective is to increase sales of bottled water at airport kiosks by 10% by the end of this year. And you can ask yourself, is it specific? Yes, it's very specific with 10% by the end of the year. Is it measurable? The M, yes, 10%. Is it achievable? I would think 10% would be an achievable goal. Is it relevant? Yeah, if we're assuming that we're obviously talking about kiosks, right? It's a kiosk business, hopefully. Hopefully it's not like a watch store trying to sell water. And then is it time bound by the end of this year? Yes. And now when they go through, they're going through all of the book's metrics. So, and that's it. I think I kept this to 7 minutes. 7 minutes or so, and you're done on objectives. We're going to do a quick exercise and see if you guys can write your own objectives for your marketing plan this week. Hope you're having a good one, and have a great Friday.